Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up JoeBiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Interaction podcast. Let's see. How should we do this?
Okay, you read everything and I'm going to sing, "This is the song that never ends," the whole time.
Before I made these notes, I did have the stuff broken up into subsections.
People started singing it, not knowing what it was. But they'll continue singing it forever just because. Come on, I was just fine. You need better elevator music.
I mean, I need better elevator music than that. It's actually not too terribly bad. No, and it's not the quality of your singing. Just I need better than the Lamb Chop song. I'm sorry. I probably need to turn this basketball game off. I can't stop looking at it.
That's what you're doing.
It's like everything in the world in this investigation broke this week is fucking bananas. Was there anything else that you would like to have included in the podcast? We don't necessarily have to.
Nah, it's fine.
You know, I was going to mention the fact that Biden won yet again, even though he's tripping. Like literally.
Well, sometimes literally.
Well, he literally tripped today over some sandbags.
Oh no. Did you mean literally?
Yeah, he literally tripped.
I was like, what did he do? I didn't miss something that he upset you in some way.
No, he's not figuratively tripping. He literally tripped, and Republicans are making fun of him. But it's hilarious because they're making fun of they can't beat the guy who they're making fun of for tripping over a sandbag. It's great. Oh, do you have a nominee for the Shithole of the Week award? I guess I could like ask the Twitter.
A new one.
A new one. I was looking at Ken Paxton.
Okay, sure. He's a shithole. I have stuff to say about Ken Paxton. That'll be great.
Yeah, we don't have to get too in depth on that. Just like the fact that he's being impeached and
I don't have anything too in depth to say.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have
mostly to like Schadenfreude and you know.
Oh yeah. I just mean we don't have to do an entire segment. That's not what that's for. But I will ask the Twitter audience if they would like to submit their nominee. Submit your nominee for the Shithole. Whoops. Shit joke is not what I was aiming for. This is terrible podcast. This definitely won't be in there. Reading a tweet as I type it. Not good content.
You got to read the tweets after you type them.
That's probably a better way to do it.
Wow, my company does ESG and now we're all communists and also we all died. I just read one of my own bad tweets, let's say.
You don't even tweet anymore.
Yeah, there's not much for me down. Bums me out, man. I miss Twitter.
It's not nearly as enthralling as it once used to be. But how has that helped your internet addiction? Has it calmed it down slightly, or have you replaced Twitter with some other emotionally addictive engaging endeavor?
I don't know. I can't find one that's the same. I'm like just mindlessly looking at shit. I'm trying to find something else to do. I've been working in my garden, but I don't know. Maybe that's why I have to fill the void. Maybe that's why I just filled it with weed. Not great.
You filled your Twitter void with weed?
I guess I was already doing weed. More of it.
Wait, okay. Let's dive into this for a second. How much weed is it that you're actually doing? I really don't even know if that's the context by which you should explain consuming weed.
It's not that much. It's frequent though.
You're not like chain smoking blunts back to back like some individuals I know personally. I'm like, bro, all you do is smoke all day. Like, how do you even function? But I guess at that point, like, being high is being normal, and like not being stoned, it's like, oh, I'm all fucked up. Anyway, whatever you need to do to function and make it through your day, no judgment here. Mm-hmm. All right, I will count us in. We'll do the thing. We will congratulate Joe on beating Kevin McCarthy's ass. My mouth is extra moist right now. I don't know what happened.
You're drooling from hunger?
I'm probably dreaming of Ty's clam chowder. Anyway, hopefully we'll get some nominees for the Shithole of the Week award. Otherwise, I will go with Ken Paxton. If you fail to come up with anyone, that's totally fine. Is there anything you want?
I don't think we've done him yet, so
we'll never do him. That reminds me. Quick. This week's episode of Fuck, Marry, Kill. Donald Trump. Ken Paxton. Kevin McCarthy. Go.
I'm having a lot of trouble with this one. I mean,
it's tough. It's a pretty tough one.
Okay, I'm gonna I guess Ken Paxton, because he can just be quiet, and I don't. They're all bad choices. I'm gonna do away with the former guy, words I could not say. And remember, listeners and Secret Service members, this is hypothetical. And just like I'm not really going to marry Kevin McCarthy, but he seems kind of like a huge fucking pushover. And yeah.
Yeah. I personally think I would marry Kevin McCarthy because, like you said, he's a pussy, and I would just run him. You definitely know who would be wearing the pants in this relationship. If I were married to Kevin, he would take my last name. He'd be Kevin Knight, which would be an upgrade for sure. I would absolutely extinguish Donald Trump for obvious reasons. And, oh, damn it, I did this backwards. Well, I guess I would have to smash Ken Paxton because, at least he would give me a good paying job right next to the crib, as he is wont to do. And I'm sure like that probably the same thing probably goes for Ty.
And he'll be like, I don't know if this works, but if you can get pregnant, I'll pay for your abortion. Don't tell anybody. Wink, wink.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, this is D-Night.
This is Carol.
And Ty is off somewhere enjoying a lovely dinner with her boo. But she should, I presume, be checking in with us here eventually if she doesn't make her way to bed in her comfortable, wonderfully luxurious set of sheets from Sheets and Giggles.
I see you're wearing your Sheets and Giggles t-shirt.
Oh, yeah, I actually have my
comfortable?
I have a Sheets and Giggles shirt on. According to the shirt, I'm good in bed.
That's what it says on the shirt.
I'm not entirely certain how much time this shirt has spent in bed with me, but it knows me fairly well. Not to pat myself on the back. That's one of the few things I'm good for in a relationship. I'm a terrible boyfriend, but at least you'll enjoy a wonderful evening in the sack. And if you don't have me to keep you cozy at night, the least you can do is pick up a set of sheets from Sheets and Giggles to take my place. All right, Carol, it's been are you laughing at that? That was a hot mess, wasn't it?
It was great.
Yeah, Colin's like, I can't believe I'm paying for this, even though he's not paying us. Yeah, look, as per the usual, kids out there, it's been a wild, wacky, fun-filled week of insanity. It never ends. Endless roller coaster of I can't believe that fucking happened. Oh shit, is that real? Oh my god, what was that? This is wild.
Are they really going to let us default on the debt? No, I didn't really think they would, but.
Yeah, in case you missed it, Biden struck a deal at the last minute to basically eliminate the debt ceiling for 2 years, averting catastrophe. People on both sides seem to not be pleased. Mostly on the right, though. They're the ones complaining about how they didn't get enough concessions out of this. I mean, for the people on the left who are complaining about some of the less ideal things included
It's like,
in this
shut
deal.
up, Bernie.
It's mostly performative. There's no one in Congress who doesn't want this deal to pass, regardless of who you see voicing their outrage against it. Like, obviously it's not great, but just general consensus is that Republicans were threatening to hold the economy hostage, if not destroy it, if Biden didn't make a number of concessions about the budget. Instead of Biden making huge concessions, he eliminated the possibility of negotiating over the budget later this year and probably next year. And we don't have to deal with the debt ceiling until 2025, which presumably Biden will be in office and hopefully have control of the House at the time.
And it's pretty cool because, a lot of the really far right people, I'm sure, wanted this they're like, just decimating the American and probably world economy would be great for President Trump's campaign.
Yeah, and the Republicans are just
Maybe
mad because they didn't get to set the world's economy on fire. And that's the gist of it. I mean,
because it would be great for them. Nothing solidifies wealth and power like a fucking emergency when you can take advantage of it.
Well, again, Biden averting a catastrophe that the Republicans created. I mean, he gets credit for that, ironically. And also, I guess...
Guess that's why Hunter Biden's laptop was trending in Twitter Spaces.
That is precisely why Hunter Biden's laptop was trending after he reached a deal on the debt ceiling. They needed something to hammer Biden on. And I could get into the specifics of the ins and outs of the debt ceiling deal. It's 98% good. There's a couple hangups. Manchin snuck in some bullshit about a pipeline in there, of course, because he's owned by the fossil fuel industry. And maybe the other slight hangup would be the work requirements for a few individuals over the age of 49 now having to work to 54 to receive their SNAP benefits. But bigger picture, even with the SNAP, the way the deal was negotiated, it'll be an expansion of SNAP benefits for Americans. It will include more Americans, especially the homeless and our veterans served in the military. So all in all, it's a win. Biden's crushing it. Republicans is big mad. They hate Joe. They were laughing at him because he was tripping today. And I mean, like, he literally tripped. And they're like, ha, 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 ha. Joe Biden tripped over a sandbag, of course. And I guess they don't see the irony in poking fun at someone they continue to lose to. Whatever. It's like he's incompetent and Biden has dementia. Well, you keep losing to a guy who supposedly you believe is incompetent and has dementia. What does that say about you? All right. Apart from Biden continuing to have a record-setting streak of positive legislation,
we got Jack Smith making shit happen.
We have a number of developments, and you'll never believe this. The multiple investigations into Donald Trump.
And Lordy, there's a smocking gun tape.
Smocking gun. For those of you who are unaware, that is an allusion to a 2018 tweet from Donald Trump. I guess I could just read it to you, where it says, I could do the thing.
Do the thing.
Hillary Clinton, Democrats can't find a smocking gun tying the Trump campaign to Russia after James Comey's testimony. No smocking gun. He said it twice. No,
he doubled down on it. It wasn't a typo.
It wasn't a typo. He doubled down on the smocking gun. No smocking gun. No collusion. Fake news.
Federal prosecutors have obtained an audio recording from a summer 2021 meeting in which former President Donald Trump acknowledges he had held on to classified Pentagon documents about a potential attack on Iran, despite claiming to have declassified everything. Ooh, potential attack on Iran. I can't just gloss over that.
We'll get into that. But so yes, continue.
The document in question is classified as, quote, secret, and quote, which is significant as the Justice Department prefers to charge espionage cases involving retention of materials at that level. So yeah, we're looking at espionage. The recordings.
Before you go on, Carol, that is of note because, okay, there are basically three levels. There are three levels of classification, or at least noteworthy levels of classification, being confidential, secret, and top secret. And generally in cases like this, the government does not like to prosecute espionage charges based on classified documents at the highest level because to do so would require disclosing the contents of the document in court. Typically, they would like something slightly less sensitive, but still serious, of course, not to lessen the degree of the seriousness of this level of documents, but generally confidential. A jury might look at that and be like, hey, this isn't serious enough to warrant these severe level of charges. Top secret.
So if they find a secret one, then it's they have to find something they're sort of okay showing publicly, but still bad enough to warrant espionage charges.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for the Goldilocks zone of like a level of classification of a document where the contents could potentially be harmful to the United States if disclosed, but also not so sensitive that it would warrant not bringing charges. So yeah, that's what we have going on there. Hey, well, hello, Ty.
Oh, there I am.
What up, yo?
Hey, girl. Hey, Steve.
Oh no, he's downstairs though.
Steve's watching basketball. We don't exist.
All right, so do you got the notes?
We actually really just got started. It's only 4 topics, and I did too much. I overdid it, and I'm sorry. I need to stop doing that. I'm paranoid about leaving things out because I feel like I just need to include every single minor fucking detail because I'm obsessive. I have OCD about sending Trump to prison.
Well, yeah, it's a little better.
Yeah, well, we can see you now.
Yeah,
no, you can see me now.
Yeah, you look.
What are you wearing?
Nice.
What you got on?
Go ahead and stand up.
Ooh.
Yeah, floral print.
I got it for like $3. That was the worst fucking food ever.
Well, at least you got your $3 out of that dress.
This is look.
You make it look like $300.
Fish and chips. This is my fish and chips.
It looks like a chicken tender.
This is it. It was like $15.
Yeah, sometimes.
And then I asked one of the workers. I go, "Hey, do you have any tartar sauce?" He's like, "I don't think we have tartar sauce." I go, "You sell
fish and chips,
but no fucking tartar sauce, dude."
Why would you even have fish and chips on the menu? Or like, do they have the malt vinegar at least?
No. This was it.
I guess that's why you don't order fish in landlocked areas.
They still ask fries. Your hair's growing, Carol.
Oh,
yeah.
It's getting longer.
And you look gorgeous as always.
Getting longer.
All right, I'm gonna keep. I sent you the notes. You eat, my darling. I'm going to keep.
Enjoy your meal, homie, while we do some podcasts.
We're talking about some espionage. So the recording indicates that Trump understood he retained classified materials after leaving the White House. On the recording, Trump's comments suggest that he would like to share the information, but he is aware of the limitations on his ability to classify records post-presidency. He discussed how he no longer possesses the sweeping presidential power to declassify, but he suggests he should have done so while he was in the White House. So meaning he didn't, he knows he didn't. Yeah, great. He said it in multiple ways.
Yes, he admits, first of all, that the document in his possession, apparently, and we've yet to hear the tape, but descriptions of it are such that it gives the appearance that he's like actually waving the document around as he's describing it. Like you can hear the rustling of the paper. But so first of all, it's an admission that the document, at least this particular document that he took, he knows it's classified, but he also is aware of how the declassification process works, because he says that he wished that he had declassified it.
Yeah.
But it's in his hand and he took it anyway. But also he's like, I should have done it. I should have declassified it while I was president, because now that I'm no longer president, I can't declassify shit anymore. So it's like he's just destroying all of his own defenses that he's been mounting the past.
What is he smocking?
More than weed, Carol.
Yeah.
More than weed.
The revelation that Trump knew he had retained sensitive material with national security implications presents a potentially perilous moment. It indicates his awareness of the limitations on discussing such information with unauthorized individuals.
That's also another thing.
Yeah.
Like, just to acknowledge the existence of said classified document could potentially be a crime. And he's just like, it's right here, guys. Here. Yeah, continue.
The recording has been described as an important, quote, that's a quote, piece of evidence in a possible case against Trump, who has repeatedly asserted he could retain presidential records and, quote, automatically declassify documents. So, yeah, he's full of shit. He knows it. Great. Yada, yada, yada. He's endangering all of us.
This idea that he's been presenting that he could automatically declassify documents or do so psychically, he's blown that defense to smithereens. When he's eventually charged to this, and make no mistake, charges are absolutely coming now and probably soon. They're going to have the trial on national TV. The prosecutors are going to hit play on this recording, let the tape roll, hit stop, and be like, I rest my case. He's going to fucking prison.
That'll be a beautiful day. So special counsel Jack Smith, leading the Justice Department investigation into Trump's handling of national security secrets, has focused on this meeting as part of the criminal investigation. The meeting took place in July 2021 at Trump's golf course in Bedminster, New Jersey. Attendees included individuals working on the autobiography of Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and other aides employed by the former president. Notably, these attendees did not have security clearance that would allow them access to the classified information. Yeah, some fucking author. No, I mean, authors are fine, but not this one, maybe.
that we can, like, hang him?
No, that's for Mike Pence.
I mean, espionage, what happened to the last people? Who was the last? Has there anyone convicted of espionage since the Rosenbergs or whatever?
It happens everywhere.
I don't know, but what happened to the Rosenbergs was pretty set a precedent. So I'm pretty on board with that.
It does happen. But our most recent case is Jack Teixeira, who was sharing classified documents in what?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, you're enamored with your own.
Well, she got herself she got the lighting nicer.
No, yeah, Ty wanted to be beautiful for the Zoom, which no one listening to this podcast outside the three of us will ever see.
Yeah, but I like looking at her. Maybe she wanted to look beautiful for me.
Our most recent case of a similar vein of espionage charges is Jack Teixeira sharing multiple classified documents in Discord channels.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been sentenced yet, has he?
No, but he is actually being held in pre-trial detention because of the fact that, based on his private communications and some of his previous behaviors, he's been deemed to be a threat to the public. So he ain't ever getting out of jail. He ain't getting out of jail pre-trial, and he definitely will not be getting out of jail post-trial for a long time.
Especially if he's executed.
He won't be executed. They'll just put him in prison for a long ass
Barges
time.
off a Gitmo.
But yeah, this idea that Trump was like bragging about this shit to a fucking writer is insane. And it's Mark Meadows' biographer, but Mark Meadows wasn't even there, so it's not like it never ceases to amaze me the depths this man will go through to satisfy his own ego. Like he'll admit to crimes to just brag about.
Who the fuck wants to read Mark Meadows' biography?
I'm sorry.
I was born a squish and I died a squish. Thank you.
Wait, but was it a biography or he's having someone ghostwrite an autobiography for him? Because it says autobiography.
Yes, he's having.
Look at this cat ass.
Your cat is huge.
And much like your cat's ass, Mark Meadows is a pussy ass bitch.
She's only 10 pounds. She's not that big.
Todd, weren't you saying didn't you think Mark Meadows was hot or something? For an old.
You must be talking to Ty.
Yes.
Ty.
Because I said no such thing.
Oh, Ty. Isn't that your type? 69 years old, gray hair.
69 and feeling fine.
I actually don't know I actually don't know how old he is. I just wanted to say
he's a weak ass squish. No.
That's not
You
your
gotta have
type,
some more. You gotta have more oomph.
You're more of a Kevin McCarthy type guy?
Shut up. No,
I'm just naming pussy ass bitches.
Just going over the fuck, marry, kill.
Her cats.
All
damn.
right. Not another.
All right. Well, since we left you out, fuck, marry, kill. Your options: Donald Trump, Ken Paxton, Kevin McCarthy.
Those are the worst.
We both did it.
No, the game's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be harrowing.
I am killing it. Oh, okay.
And you're going to jail with Jack Teixeira and Donald Trump. Ty.
You're only legally allowed to kill one person.
We'll see you in 20 years. All right.
Okay, then it's got to be Ken Paxton.
That's who you're killing?
It's got to be Ken.
Oh, I know you're not.
You can live.
Well, I told the audience that you'd bang him because he'd get you a job and get you paid.
Ken I gotta kill that fucker. He is just pure evil.
Yeah, he's wilding. Totally.
Yeah.
Every turn.
Put him into any goddamn category.
Okay, but what about the other two? Don't do the easy one. That's the easy one.
All right, you've killed Ken. Now you gotta bang Trump. I mean, I guess like if you slept with him.
Oh no. I'd marry him. Fuck me.
Yeah, marry him because then you could just divorce
I'd marry him because then that means I don't have to fuck him.
Oh, you go the Melania route. All right, this podcast took a turn. Okay, Carol, continue where we left off, wherever the fuck that was. I no longer know.
Right. The tape was played to multiple witnesses, including communications specialist Margot Martin, during her testimony in mid-March. Trump's lawyers learned about the tape after Martin testified. Meadows' autobiography included an account of the same meeting, during which Trump recalls a report typed up by Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that contains sorry, my cat knocked over the microphone. That contained the general's plan to attack Iran.
Happy Pride Month.
The meeting occurred shortly after news reports indicated Milley had urged Trump not to attack Iran in the final weeks of his presidency. What the fuck, dude? Why were you going to attack Iran?
Okay, so
I was wondering the same thing, Carol. It was like, okay, what the hell?
It's just like a whim, and like he has
no. I'll give you the broad strokes. Do you remember that time that Iran launched a number of rockets into Iraq, some that came dangerously close to one of our bases there? Do any of you remember that? 2020?
Right, like between 2020 and 20.
Iran launched a number of rockets into Iraq. We didn't have any of our soldiers die, but we did have a few individuals who received some injuries. And at the time, apparently Trump wanted to find a way to retaliate. and Milley was encouraging him not to do so in such a fashion that would create a potential conflict between our military and Iran that could potentially explode into war. So one of the things Trump did was he had Milley draw up a potential plan to invade Iran, basically game out what that would look like, one of the potential scenarios. And then Milley also drew up some less severe repercussions for Iran, and one of which Trump eventually landed on was to launch a number of missiles back at a few targets inside of Iran. And that's what that's what Trump settled on. Well, what happened in 2021 is Milley went public in a number of articles and was made a couple of TV appearances talking about how he was responsible for Trump showing restraint and not engaging in a full-blown conflict. And Trump was furious at this. You may or may not remember this, but he was like, one of the things he tweeted at the time was like, if I were to do a coup, the last person I would want to do a coup with is Mark Milley. After this, do y'all remember any of that? You don't remember any of that though. All right,
so that sounds like something you'd say.
But he would take Rudy Giuliani. That makes sense.
Well, because he knew Mark Milley wouldn't be interested. He would need to replace him.
Okay, well, these are the things Trump was saying publicly, right? He was just going off on like Milley at the time. Well, what he was doing in private, specifically at Bedminster, where this incident was recorded, was this shit. He's waving the fucking document around like, hey, see, it was Milley who wanted to go to war with Iran, and I've got the fucking plan to prove it, even though he's the one who told Milley to draw up,
Jesus, what an asshole.
To game theory out a potential invasion of Iran. And that's what the Joint Chief of Staff job is. Give me a potential plan of what it would look like if we were to launch a full-scale invasion of Iran. Not that anyone is actually planning to do that, but just what it would look like.
Right.
And that was the scenario.
So investigators have questioned General Mark Milley about the incident, making him one of the highest-ranking national security officials from Trump's administration to meet with the special counsel's team. The investigation intensifies as numerous Trump aides are subpoenaed to testify before the federal grand jury.
The tape is the most damning thing you could possibly imagine in what's coming for Trump. There's no more damning piece of it. I mean, obviously the retention of the documents, but since the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago, and I don't give a fuck if you don't like calling it a raid, call it whatever you want, the execution of a search warrant, like this tape puts everything into context while also destroying every defense Donald Trump has. It's like a fucking confession.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. Not for him.
Ty, you are muted, ma'am. You might want to unmute your thing. I have no idea what you're saying. I
said it is a confession. Like, absolutely. Like, right. Without a doubt. That, you're right. That is the most damning part of this, because it confirms that he was full of shit, that he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
That he was all in on being a traitor.
100%.
Period. That's it. I hope Jack moves on this super fast, because Chrissy said to me today, he goes, can you believe it's only 6 months until 2024?
Oh my God.
And
don't
immediately my brain was like, God,
no.
Yeah.
It feels like it was just January.
Yeah. Feels like it was just
January 2021.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Is that what you were saying, Ty?
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow time has been at a standstill while also moving incredibly fast. It's like, where did it go?
Yeah.
It's been the longest 2 years.
That's from 2021 until now. Holy shit. Where did it go?
Right.
But
also it was like, damn, so much happened. It was insane. Like, how did all of that happen in just 2 years all at the same time? It's wild.
In just 2 years. And then we're just barely getting the freaking justice of the insurrectionists getting punished and getting justice.
At least they're finally going to jail. And, we've got a number of prison sentences, especially for like the or rather the Oath Keepers here. A lot of them are going to jail for a long time.
This whole scene that they're going to pardon him, Ron.
Yeah, so we have a number of presidential candidates planning.
Pinky Boots wants to.
Yeah, he's not going to pardon him. Once he's elected, he's not going to follow through on any of his promises.
Don't say that.
He will hold on to his
DeSantis.
I'm sorry, he's not going to be elected. But if he were elected, like in his mind, once he's elected, he doesn't give a shit about what his promises, right?
No, DeSantis does not. Trump might actually be serious when he's like, yeah, I'm going to issue pardons to these people, because that's what he does, right? He soft sells this insane shit to try and make it seem less crazy once he actually
But he didn't give them pardons when he could have before he left office.
Exactly. He pardoned Lil Wayne, man. Like
well, he thought he would win some credit with the black community.
He pardoned Lil Wayne and he got fucking ASAP Rocky out of jail. And he left all them other motherfuckers, but DeSantis is the stupid, so I don't see him doing a whole lot.
Well, I keep having to point this out, but the title of this podcast is ironic. And they're like, no, I literally want to pardon all the insurrectionists. It's like, no, that's not what this is for. It's a joke. Don't do it.
Who thought the name of the podcast like would have been like one note and not relevant after the insurrection is over? But no, man, they're still insurrectioning. So
2023, and they're still it's just wild. You know what? Now that you mention it, is it not insane that 2 years later, after all of this, they're actually talking about pardoning the people?
Pardoning insurrectionists is
wild.
It's crazy. Like I feel like I'm in bizarro worlds, and I'm running out of countries that I can move to. Because we have done so much.
The world is taking a turn.
And then everyone else is like, I'm ready to crime. I want to crime too. I want to be anti-democracy. And it sucks. Sucks big time. I think God is my last thing.
Well, I had a friend who was listening to the previous episode of the podcast. And the one thing he said was, also, thanks for pointing out that the batshit absurdity that this thing still is. Like, he can't believe this is still going on. And he's like, I appreciate you for calling out how crazy this is, because it's fucking crazy. It's like bananas.
The top people have still not been held accountable. And that is incredulous to me. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like,
we're working our way there, Ty. And we're going to get to
from damn Muscle Shoals, Alabama. I don't give a fuck about, but I do give a fuck about Trump. I do give a fuck about
Pence,
other
Clark,
people that were complicit.
Stone.
Yeah. Like, why is it
the war room at the Willard? No one talks about that anymore. We're going to get to that, though. We're going to get to that. Hey, you know what? I'll even throw a bit of reckless speculation in. Once we conclude.
If one tape wasn't enough.
Wait, Ty, before you continue,
yes,
this is going to blow your mind, but there's actually a third tape, and we just haven't had the time to talk about it because it's been so crazy. But apparently in the Manhattan DA's investigation, Alvin Bragg also has a bombshell tape revealing crimes of Trump that he released in the, his evidential summary that he put out.
And that dude does not know how to shut the fuck up. It's great. It's great.
So
it's probably a tape of him like, hey, I know that that I've drastically overvalued my donation to New York State of that park, but who cares? Because
I would imagine it's like the grab them by the pussy tape, but for other crimes.
But for insurrection.
Yeah.
So this is the fraud. This is the fraud.
Yes. Well, anyway, this isn't even that tape. This is a reference to the surveillance tapes at Mar-a-Lago surrounding the classified documents case. All right, Ty, continue.
Okay. Segment: scrutiny on handling of security footage raises questions about interference by Trump aides.
I don't know why I put that in there. See, what happened is when I was taking the notes, I had the stuff broken down into segments, and then I combined some stuff to just make one long segment, and I forgot to cut that out.
One long segment, They are long, D. You were writing. You be writing. You be writing.
Well,
Like,
I was serious. I was okay. So I have OCD apparently about Trump going to prison, and when I'm preparing the notes for the podcast, I just get more and more fucking obsessed with like making sure I don't leave out any details because there's always so fucking much going on that I can't remember it. And then when I listen back to the podcast, I'm be like, damn it, I wanted to make that point and that point and that point and that point, and I left it out. And the next thing you know,
it is a lot.
well, yeah, but the thing is, like, well, okay, so if you're listening to this podcast, normally what you get is 2 episodes per week, but really what it is we recorded one really, really long episode and I broke it up into 2. And like, if I made every point that I wanted to make, the podcast would be 14 hours long and we would never go to sleep. All right, continue, Ty.
As the special counsel Jack Smith and his team continue their investigation into former President Donald J. Trump's handling of classified documents, they have turned their attention to a related issue: the potential interference by Trump and some of his aides in obtaining security footage from Mar-a-Lago. The footage could provide valuable insights into how the documents were stored and who had access to them, shedding light on whether Trump obstructed the government's efforts to retrieve the classified materials.
Yeah, in the previous segment, we covered we covered the espionage. In this particular segment, we're covering the obstruction. So 2 like related, intermingled prongs of the investigation into the documents. All right, continue, Ty.
Yes. To unravel the second aspect, investigators have delved into the depths of Mar-a-Lago, Trump's private club and residence in Florida.
I don't know why I put that information in there. We all know what the fuck Mar-a-Lago is. It's where he smokes dope and, smokes his fucking crack and does his speed
Snorts his Adderall.
And commits money laundering and all that.
And then poops his pants.
Yeah. And fucks whores, probably.
Yeah, well,
reckless speculation.
I'm going to use the term fucks loosely. I think it's more dry humping.
Does his diaper have a little wee hole?
I think it's more of him like just kind of rubbing his weenus like on the side of the bed and just trying to get off. I think that's all he's got.
He probably plays the game like, you have to guess whether it's his dick or his finger. All right, continue, Ty.
They have been interviewing an expanding group of low-level workers at the compound who were involved in securing the material in a storage room or maintaining the surveillance footage. One such worker, an information technology employee named Yusil Taveras, recently appeared before a grand jury in Washington. During his testimony, Taveras was asked about his interactions with 2 other Trump employees: Walt Nada, a longtime aide who served as one of Trump's valets in the White House, and Carlos de Oliveira, described as the head of maintenance at Mar-a-Lago. So that's who he was hanging out with.
Yeah, Walt Nada is that guy who was presumably cooperating, but probably not cooperating truthfully enough. And so the feds was like, we got to get more backup on this one. This sounds like some shady shit. So now they got his buddy in here. Anyway.
Yes. The focus on Taveras stemmed from a phone call he received from De Oliveira last summer, shortly after prosecutors had issued a subpoena to the Trump Organization for the surveillance camera footage near the storage room. This call drew attention because it coincided with De Oliveira's assisting Nada in moving boxes of documents into the storage room, which De Oliveira had previously fitted with a lock. Significantly, this movement of boxes occurred just before prosecutors arrived at Mar-a-Lago for a meeting with Trump's lawyers aiming to secure his compliance in returning all classified documents.
Yeah, they was moving the boxes around right before the fucking feds showed up. It's shady and suspicious as fuck. That's why the feds.
And it looks like he made the immigrants do it.
Well, honey, that's just because only brown people work there. Yeah, he hates the quote unquote illegal immigrants, but yet all he does is hire. Anyway, continue.
Yes. Although the Trump Organization eventually turned over the surveillance tapes, Smith's prosecutors are now examining whether someone within Trump's orbit attempted to limit the amount of footage provided to the government.
Yep. So after they moved the boxes around, they was trying to call up the security, be like, "Hey man, there's a fucking camera here. Did we just get caught on tape? Are we on candid camera?"
Yeah.
All right, continue.
Yeah, it got caught on tape.
You're on camera.
During Taveras' grand jury appearance, Prosecutors posed an open-ended question about whether anyone had asked him about the possibility of deleting surveillance footage. The outcome of Tavares' testimony and its impact on determining evidence with the surrender of the surveillance tapes remain undisclosed.
Yeah. Determining interference with it. Anyway, yes. All right. We don't know the content of his testimony in that regard, but if he does happen to finger some individuals, and not like Trump's penis finger, but like point out individuals who might have actually been responsible for altering the surveillance footage. And we haven't had any accounts to necessarily say that for sure, yes, the footage was altered, but the way these, I don't know, I guess the sources for these multiple news articles surrounding the surveillance footage in Mar-a-Lago and what prosecutors are looking for, it absolutely has to have been altered in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking all these fucking questions.
Yeah, they wouldn't be. And I'm pretty sure that they're just more concerned that they were on the tape.
What I'm saying is that prosecutors, I would imagine, know the answer as to whether or not the footage was altered, and they're looking for the individuals who altered it. But they don't want to come out and say, yes, the footage was altered. Was it you? They just want to ask questions and see who lies. And this is one of the ways in which prosecutors actually wrap up individuals into potential crimes, offer them plea deals, and have them cooperate, right? You ask them questions that you know the answer to.
So they were concerned about being on the tape, but not concerned about doing shit that would be on the tape. Is that what I'm getting?
Well, yeah, as long as you just don't want to get caught, right?
Well, yes, exactly. You don't want to, you want to commit the crime, but you don't want to have surveillance footage.
You don't want to do the time. I was wearing sheets and giggle shirts, and you didn't even tell me to bring mine.
No,
I am.
Mine's
I got
actually
mine
my
on
company
proudly.
shirt.
Yeah, I just wanted to rep for the. I wanted to rep for the pod. I mean, rep for our sponsor, even though no one will actually see this shirt on the pod.
Colin would love that. I'm gonna now that
Stevie.
I got my cutie new hair. That's Stevie.
Hey Steve. When I start my OnlyFans, my very first picture will be of me in this shirt. All right. I don't even remember where we were anymore. Ty. What were we doing?
Okay, this focus on the security tapes represents the latest effort by Smith and his team to investigate potential obstructive behavior by Trump or his aides. The prosecutors are examining whether Trump engaged in a pattern of obstructing government officials across various agencies for over a year. This includes
spoiler alert, he did.
Of obstructive behavior toward the Justice Department, which issued a subpoena for all classified documents in Trump's possession, as well as the National Archives, which sought the return of presidential records, some of which contained classified material. Now, I was listening to The Bulwark today, and Charlie Sykes was saying that it's more centered not on obstruction, but the espionage. That he was like, everything is related to the espionage, not obstruction. So that is going to be.
I don't disagree with the fact that they're I'm sure they are absolutely looking at espionage, but people who weren't necessarily looking at the actual documents, but were aware they were there. You can wrap up those people in obstruction charges easier than you can in espionage if they didn't actually.
You know what I've noticed? I've noticed that Saudi Arabia is all over the fucking place. I was looking at something today. We're talking about soccer players. Messi, a bunch of big players.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in the sports washing world. We don't have time for that on this podcast, sadly, because I made the notes too long.
Sports ball world. Oh, yes. Just on another note, D, I was going to apologize to Max.
Oh, we know how to do that. No, just continue with the notes.
Just leave Max alone.
Yeah, we don't have to even. There's no need. Love you, Max Kellerman. Let's move on.
We're just gonna leave him. Okay. All right. We're just gonna move on. Yep. Okay.
Oh, I don't even remember
you were the
one
again. That was he's a good guy. So okay.
I mean, look, we all have some flubs. If you're going to record yourself speaking, on TV or in podcasts for hours a day, 5 days a week for decades. Occasionally you're going to get a little too comfortable and say something that some people might find inappropriate. But in this particular instance, the thing you were arguing with Max about is
that's fair.
Max got too much cred in these streets for anyone to be giving him a hard time about making what could have been inferred as a semi-insensitive joke.
I will say, I do stand by that he's a hack, but no. Jumped the gun on that. Okay. It hit me the wrong way.
Wait. And I want to address that too, because I was like, oh, he ain't a hack. Well, he kind of was on First Take, but that's not his fault. That's just what the show is. Like, that's not even the type of show he wanted to do. And like, he wouldn't specifically lay this out, but like, what he does on other shows versus the way First Take was set up, which is really the reason why they got him out of there. Cause like, they just want to have fun and argue about shit. And Max be wanting to make too fine of a nuanced point, but like on First Take, it still comes across as him being kind of a hack. But that's what First Take is. Like, if you listen to him,
and you know what, you're right, because I wasn't, except for like boxing, because I love boxing, but watching Max on that and then First Take, because I did like the other. Well, I liked Cold Pizza too. Like, I like Cold Pizza.
Yeah.
And I liked First Take, and I liked Steve being on there. Steve A. Every now and then, he came on, he argued with Skip, because Skip is a diehard Cowboys, he's a diehard SMU fan. So that was like kind of fun. But Stephen A. every fucking day, no, man.
I like Stephen A. too, but I don't like First Take Stephen A. I don't enjoy it.
Exactly.
The way that show is formatted is not for an audience of individuals who consume sports and
who
sports
consume
media.
Sports,
just the way that I consume sports and sports media. I'm not the target audience.
No, but it's like, I used to watch, like, I would get up every morning. I wanted to be a sports writer. I'd get up every morning at like 6:00 and I'd watch Mike and Mike.
That's more in line with the type of show that I would be interested in.
Yeah. And then after Mike and Mike, and then I'd watch First Take. And then of course they'd go through it again. Then I'd kind of switch over, and then I'd watch Cowherd. Now he's just fucking weird. I can't really take too much of him. But I spent literally 8 hours a day. But okay, back to
trying to figure out how to do the sports writing thing. Yeah, I mean, Cowherd, it's also interesting because again, we're doing a podcast, and just a short side tangent about Cowherd while Carol's totally checked out here. I am
what the fuck are they talking about?
I am fascinated by anyone who can just like turn on the microphone and talk for 3 hours by themselves, because I've tried to do it. It is very difficult.
Yeah, no, you're right. Colin Cowherd, he did do a good job, but I liked him better than after like his plastic surgery and shit.
What he's turned into over the past 10 years, I'm not a huge fan of. And that's not to say that like I don't respect the work that he does. Like, I just don't like the character that he portrays. Again, and this is the same thing. It's the same issue.
Not talking to you, D.
Well, I know I'm not baby tonight. Anyway, Carol, where the fuck were we?
Okay, no, we are back to Tavares.
All right, yeah, sports media side tangent over.
Okay, so while there is no indication that Tavares is the subject of the investigation, all three individuals, Tavares, De La Vera, and Nada, have faced extensive questioning regarding their roles in handling the boxes and tapes. Trump's aides maintain that no improper actions took place, and that the activities in question were either part of the efforts to comply with subpoenas or routine conversations, sometimes unaware of the existence of the Justice Department subpoenas for the security footage and classified documents. So they didn't get the documents?
No, they weren't aware, so they say, at the time of moving the documents, they weren't aware of the subpoena.
Oh, they weren't aware then. Did they think it was Tupperware?
Well, I'm sure they didn't understand the full context of Trump's communications with NARA and the FBI. Right? Because that's something Trump and his legal team specifically would have been handling. These dudes just work there. right? They just follow orders from Trump. They're not communicating with the Department of Justice. And that's
okay.
And that's
I don't know if I'm buying that though, because why did they?
Oh no, I'm not saying I buy it. I'm just saying presumably they might not necessarily have actually even been aware of the subpoena. They were just, fucking around on Trump's orders.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like
now once the FBI shows up to get the envelopes from Trump's lawyer, now I feel like at that point, like word probably spreads.
Been a year?
Hmm?
Can you believe it's almost been a year since the search? I was like, holy shit, we're like just 2-3 months away.
Well, what's really fucking crazy is when we started this podcast, we had no idea that all this shit was gonna like unfold, and we're like, all right, time to pivot. Whole idea of the podcast took a turn because Trump can't stop criming. Anyway, Carol,
I was looking for
what's up.
Can you tell me where we were again, or were you not paying attention?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just so crazy because when we just started, we were just like, oh, let's just talk about the insurrection. Then it was like a whole bunch of other shit.
And it's been constant shit ever since. Trump's not even in office, and he's dominating the fucking podcast. Because
how many episodes have we done so far?
So far, we're in the 70s.
Okay, because I was listening to. I hate that Fever Dreams. Fever Dreams is not on anymore. Because I really loved that pod.
Yeah.
Will Summer is hilarious. But before they decided that they were not going to be on anymore, his co-host was like, we had 100 episodes. That's like 1% of all podcasts survived 100 episodes. So if we can just hang in there.
Hey, yeah, there's a funny, okay, look, just broader, we keep going into these fucking side tangents. Yeah, so most podcasts don't even make it to 10 episodes.
Ooh.
Like a surprising number, like good. 90% of podcasts don't reach 10 episodes. So
we had our 50th episode, that was a really good episode.
Yeah, just even getting to 50 is a fucking accomplishment because people just fucking fade out. And certainly getting to 100 is a serious milestone.
That's
like
our goal.
Getting to 100 episodes and just like one person listening to every episode is a fucking accomplishment because you'd be surprised just statistically how rare that is. Anyway, okay, I guess we can continue now.
Nevertheless,
the interactions surrounding the security tapes have raised suspicions among Smith's investigators, who approached several individuals connected to Trump with skepticism.
They're skeptical just like you are, and reasonably so.
Additionally, the prosecutor's scrutiny extends to Trump's Political Action Committee, Save America, which has come under investigation for potential fundraising improprieties. That was cute, because we all know that was some fraud.
Yeah, just to reiterate this further, everything that Trump has ever done is currently under criminal investigation. Like, just in case you forgot, like, okay, I just not only is Mar-a-Lago under investigation for the documents, like espionage and obstruction.
So much criming, man. So much crime.
Wait,
all the time.
His PAC's under investigation, but also True Social is under investigation, but also the SPAC that was supposed to merge with True Social is under investigation, but also Trump's businesses, Trump Org, is under investigation in multiple jurisdictions. He's got a lot going on, and his campaign is under investigation.